Hello everybody, thank you so much for clicking on this video. A couple of people asked me to do an update on my Philodendron bannoniae that was featured in episode 2 of my ongoing series about unpopular philodendrons. So let's do that. Now, if you feel like it, you can watch that second episode first before watching this update. But enough said, let's get to the update. Now, if you have seen the original video, you might remember that the main problem with this plant was the fact that it started growing sideways because I didn't give it any support to climb onto. So by the time I made the original video, it had like a meter-long runner growing sideways. And for those who didn't see the video, here is a pretty amateuristic screenshot of what the plant looked like growing sideways to the left. Now, after shooting the original video, I finally chose to propagate the mother plant, as you can see here. I basically cut off the 1 meter runner and chopped it up into 5 one-leaf cuttings, each one with a node. And I put those cuttings in water. And I can tell you already that 4 out of the 5 cuttings made it, as you will see in just a minute. Here you can see the first 2 of those surviving cuttings as they are today, still growing in water for almost 9 months now. The root system of both cuttings looks quite extensive, but it actually took a very long time before these cuttings started to produce any roots. In my experience, this is because the stems of the cuttings were already quite thick, and I noticed that cuttings with thick stems can take ages to start rooting. But anyway, both these guys seem to be quite happy just growing in water, and they both produced 1 new leaf during their aquatic life. Now, since they don't seem to mind to live in water, I haven't potted them up just yet in soil, but I probably should do that soon because the longer I wait, the bigger the shock will be for these guys when I put them finally into soil. Alright, now let's have a look at the other 2 surviving cuttings. So these 2 were also first put into water to root, but a couple of months ago I potted them up in an aroid soil mix. I put them together in one pot so they wouldn't feel too lonely, and they both survived the transition from water to soil quite well. The one on the left has already made 2 new leaves, and the one on the right is a little bit more shy and only has 1 new leaf, but it's currently working on a second one. So with 4 out of 5 cuttings that made it, I think it's safe to say that this Philodendron bannoniae is a good candidate for water propagation. Just remember that it might take quite a bit of time before the new roots will finally appear. Now let's get back to the mother plant. You can see right here where I cut it. Now, after cutting off the long runner, the plant kind of froze in time and didn't show any growth for a couple of months. Then, I think it was more or less 3 months after I cut the runner off, it suddenly woke up and activated a dormant growing node just here. And as you can see, since then it has produced 1 decently sized new leaf, and it's currently working on a second new leaf as we speak. So as a conclusion, and since my first video in January, I went from 1 Philodendron bannoniae to 5 Philodendron bannoniaes, and both the mother and her 4 children are doing just fine. It's a very easy plant to propagate, and that's probably the reason why you can buy this Philodendron bannoniae for quite cheap. I think they cost only around $25 at the moment, since they are easily reproduced. Okay, that's all for this update. If you liked it, please consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. If you want to see any other updates on any of my many other unpopular philodendrons, don't hesitate to leave a comment under this video. For now, I wish you a very good day. Bye bye.